Gamescom 2021 is on a roll, and with it have come a bunch of new game announcements. So we've rounded up all of them here for you. Keep in mind, as much as we want to talk about stuff like Dokev, Sifu, Outlast Trials, stuff like that, those were announced well before Gamescom. So here are all of the new game announcements from the event, starting off with number 10. We got the announcement of Marvel Midnight Suns. Now, you might remember if you follow gaming news very closely, this game was originally leaked before E3, but didn't see an E3 announcement. Now, finally here at Gamescom, we got a cool cinematic trailer featuring a ton of Marvel characters and a little bit of an emphasis on the darker side, something that you don't see every day. Yeah, you got Wolverine, you got Captain America, you got cool stuff going on with Ghost Rider and explosions, but the real key here is who's making it. It's from 2K and Firaxis, essentially meaning this is kind of like a Marvel version of XCOM. That's how this game has previously been dubbed in leaks, and now that it's been revealed, we're excited to learn more about it. And if they ask us, the possibilities are endless. At first, that concept might not sound like it makes sense, but I think they can do a lot with it, considering I've been made a believer about every game translating to XCOM style gameplay. Like, look at Mario plus Rabbids. That was weird, didn't expect that to be good, and it turned out awesome. So, slap some Marvel characters in there, change up the gameplay flow a little bit, and we got something cool. We don't have any gameplay yet, we just know that it's coming to Nintendo Switch, PS4, PS5, PC, all the Xboxes, March 2022. Next, over at number 9, we have Into the Pit. Now, besides it just having a really cool name, this is a fast-paced, retro, first-person shooter roguelite. And we've been seeing a lot of retro first-person shooters, from Dusk to the newly revived original Quake games. But this looks like something else entirely. This looks crazy. Just everything on screen is over the top. There's so much going on. There's a nice spin on things where you're using your hands and magic more than any actual physical weapons. And while we like dual-wielding shotguns and bunny hopping and flipping around, using some cool magic to kill dudes is nice and refreshing. Into the Pit is going to be a PC Xbox release, and right now it's slated for October 19th, 2021. Next, over at number 8, we have Park Beyond. This is a Bandai Namco published park builder with a really cool vibe. We've had all kinds of park builders for many years now, from Roller Coaster Tycoon to Planet Coaster and a bunch of others, but this one seems to really be aiming for like over-the-top, cartoony, fantastical rides. Just stuff that doesn't even make sense. And you know what? That's pretty cool. The possibilities are pretty endless. Even just from the trailer, some of the glimpses of the rides they showed, it could be a blast to construct some of this stuff, especially if they get some physics involved. I really want to see that. I also kind of buried the lead here a little bit, but it's from the people behind Tropico, so you know it's going to have some of that cool creative vibe and a little bit of a dash of humor. We're excited to see it. It's not slated until 2022 right now, but it's releasing on PS5, PC, and Xbox Series X and S. Now, next, over at number 7, we have Death Cathedral, which was announced, and it's essentially a side-scrolling RPG with some really cool, gory combat and very specific and properly timed maneuvers. They're going for realistic sword fighting and parrying, but you're also essentially a decaying corpse. The gameplay is actually built around something called the decay system, where you are flesh and bone being held essentially together by magic, and you're going to deteriorate as you play the game, and you're going to have to adjust your strategies with that. Also, while balancing around between a bunch of different playable characters. When I first saw gameplay of this, I was like, okay, what's the deal with this little game? But then once I read into the gameplay systems, I was way more intrigued. As of right now, it doesn't have a release date, and it's coming to PC and possibly consoles. Next, over at number 6, we have Wasteland 3, Cult of the Holy Detonation. Now, this wouldn't be a Wasteland game without a cool expansion. This is actually the second one for Wasteland 3, the second main one, and this one is going to wrap things up narratively. There's a whole new area. You can now go into this mountain complex, and it's all focused around this cult that's essentially worshipping a suspended nuclear detonation. The developers are stating that it's crammed with new characters and stuff, and it seems like there's going to be a good amount to play through, and thankfully the expansion is really reasonably priced for like $7. And it's going to be releasing, of course, everywhere Wasteland 3 is already available, so PC, PlayStation, and Xbox. Next, over at number 5, we have Cult of the Lamb, a quirky game that really surprised a lot of people. If you like Devolver Digital games, this is definitely like a Devolver-ass game. This is a game where you play as animals and you're essentially tasked with building up your own cult, training them, and going around these randomly generated worlds and fighting enemies. basically doing questing and progressing to grow your cult and take over the world. And while that might sound pretty simple, it's really the music, the vibe, the animations, the character designs, and everything that really sells it and makes it look really intriguing and charming. Charming in like a weird, creepy kind of way, but honestly, we're really into it. As of right now, we just know that it's releasing 2022 for PC and some consoles. Next, over at number 4, we have Dream Cycle, which is a first-person adventure game with a focus on horror and exploration, and it's being made by some of the people behind the original Tomb Raider. This game came out of nowhere for us, and the reveal trailer is super brief, but we got to see a lot of chaos, some destruction, some open areas with giant monsters, first-person shooting with cool guns, and more tight, narrow corridors with weird, creepy stuff going on. That's it. It was all brief flashes. I think it's dangerous to really speculate more, because as of right now, this game might still be a ways off. It doesn't have a release date or platforms, but keep it on your radar. Dream Cycle, it could be cool. Next up at number 3, we have Stray Blade. This was revealed during the Xbox event right before Gamescom really opened, and this just looks like a pretty cool, straightforward action RPG with a unique art style, some really aggressive and challenging combat, definitely inspired by a lot of other action RPGs. But the more it's explained, the more it sounds like it's trying a couple of things that are pretty interesting. First off, you have this companion, this little creature guy, and he levels up independently from you, where you're technically an adventurer and you have your standard RPG skill tree. Your companion is going to level up and progress in different ways around lore and craftsmanship. The developers are really emphasizing the world changing based on your actions, and since this is a game where you're a swordman and you kill things, it's really about defeating enemies and then dying and then revisiting those areas and seeing what's changed. Because in this game, time always passes even when you die, and many games have grappled with this type of thing before, but we're curious to see how specifically it's implemented here because I seem really excited about it. Personally, from what we've seen so far, we really like I said, the art style. It's a little simpler, but it's colorful. The combat seems really aggressive, and judging from some of the skill trees and the loot stuff, it seems like there's some good customization here. We don't have a specific release date for it yet, but as of right now, Stray Blade is coming to Xbox and PC in 2022. And next, down at number 2, we have UFL. This is a new football simulation game seemingly focused specifically around skill and global competition online, and essentially it's gunning for FIFA. You know, some people are really over FIFA and some of the stuff that those games have done, and they want something different, and UFL is really hoping to fill that void. That's pretty tough, you know, with them going up against the big guy like FIFA. It's like trying to make a new football game against Madden, but we're pretty hyped to see somebody try. It's also worth noting it's going to be developed with Unreal Engine, and it's going to be free to play. According to them, you're going to be able to create your own football clubs made up of more than 5,000 licensed footballers and compete with other gamers worldwide to prove their skills and climb to the very top of the league. It's early, we haven't really seen much of the game yet other than an announcement and brief snippets of things. It does not have a release date or platforms, but football fans seemingly have something to look forward to here. There's definitely some potential. Now, down to number 1, we got to talk about the Saints Row reboot. This has been leaked and rumored for years, but now we got an official announcement of a new Saints Row game. According to the developers, they went way too crazy by the end, and they had to kind of bring things back down to earth, and early previews of this game have given out more information than just a cinematic trailer and a brief gameplay glimpses. So apparently you still create your own character. It's about building a criminal empire, now in more of a southwestern style area. The gameplay and tone is going to be focused more around a Saints Row 2 and 3 attitude, a little bit less over the top, but still very much embracing the fun factor, and you can definitely tell by the brief snippets of gameplay we got. Crazy driving, shooting dudes with your friends, going off jumps, explosions, heists, all that. The developers have also confirmed that we're not going to see fan favorites like Johnny Gat or anything like that. This is a completely new adventure. We are going to get some Easter eggs, and some fan favorite gameplay modes are going to return. I think the Saints Row franchise has needed a refresh. A reboot could be good, but it's still early. We haven't seen a lot, so I'm still reserving my judgment, but the game is coming soon. It's coming February 2022, so we're probably going to see more of it soon, and it's releasing on PC and all the major platforms. Those are some of our favorite Gamescom announcements, but we also got a bonus for you. It's Valheim, Hearth and Home. This is a new content update for Valheim. It's releasing on PC September 16th, 2021, and that's pretty exciting because, as you guys probably remember, Valheim released and killed it earlier this year, so people have been itching for more of it. And according to PC Gamer, it's going to introduce a new food system, changes to combat with blocking and staggering, and new ways to display stuff in your creations, new recipes, new things to build, and hopefully just more to do. We're pretty pumped. Also worth mentioning, Blasphemous is getting a sequel. Blasphemous 2 is coming in 2023. That's all we really know about it, but we also got a side announcement that there's free DLC coming to the first game on December 9th. We're also getting Monster Rancher 1 and 2 DX, which is like a repackaging of the classic Monster Rancher games that are like Pokemon Light, that were beloved by many people. This is coming to mobile, PC, and Nintendo Switch. And it's definitely worth pointing out that the original Dying Light is coming to Nintendo Switch. The whole complete edition is being ported to Nintendo's handheld, and we're really excited to see just how it handles that thing. Like we said, these are the Gamescom announcements that we were pumped about, but there are plenty of other things that were shown off, like some Halo cinematic trailers, some newer looks at games that have previously been announced. So with this list and everything at Gamescom, we just want to hear from you guys in the comments what you've been enjoying the most. Let us know what games you're looking forward to. It really helps us cater our videos. So along with that, clicking the like button helps us out a ton if you learned something here today. We would appreciate that. And if you're new, consider subscribing, maybe hitting that notification bell, because we put out videos every single day. But as always, thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys next time.